Hi, I'm Cindy Billion Stern, and I'm here today on behalf of Connecticut Public Health Association Mentoring Organization Registry. We're going to be doing a training today to get you familiar with a simple what is public health type of presentation that will really help you go into the schools and engage your students, engage the high school to community college students in learning more about careers and concepts in public health. We've been doing this presentation or something similar to it for the past 3 or 4 years, and the Mentoring Organization Registry, an arm of Connecticut Public Health Association, actually started in 2007. We began to organize by reaching out to public health organizations across the state, asking them if they would be willing to send someone in their group to go out into the schools and talk to students at the high school level before they leave school to let them know that there are wonderful opportunities and careers in public health. Back in 2007, there was a real shortage of public health workers that we were very worried about, and since then there has been really an explosion of both programs and students enrolling in these programs at the undergraduate and graduate level. There's just been a lot of interest in the field, which is great, but what we still haven't done a good job at is reaching younger people before they leave high school with important skills like health literacy, environmental literacy, global awareness. These are all 21st century skills that all schools are helping students graduate with. There's also new legislation out that requires kids from 6th grade through 12th grade to have something called a student success plan. And that requires that schools arrange for students to go out into the community and get experience applying the skills that they've learned so that they're really ready for higher education and success in work. There is probably not a better field that students can gain this understanding and gain skills in than public health. It really helps to raise their awareness of how their health practices, their personal health practices, influence that of the community. And it engages them with skills that empowers them to know that they can do something today to make their community a healthier place to be. The Mentoring Organization Registry has really grown since 2007. We started out with 7 organizations. We're now 39 organizations strong. And we're really having a lot of success reaching out to teachers and students during National Public Health Week. But to us, National Public Health Week is just a great opportunity to have that first meeting with schools. On your short evaluation form, it'll only take you a few minutes to fill out after you do your presentation. One of the things that we ask is, are you going to be following up with the schools? Because that's really what's going to count. Doing a one-shot presentation is really our first introduction. It's not the final project. So I wish you luck, and I'm eager to hear about how your presentation and the future relationship goes with your school.
Hi, my name is Tarina Gaston, and I'm a public health graduate student at Southern Connecticut State University. And I'm here to give you some tips on how to work with teens if you have not worked with this population before. So the thing to remember about teens is that they're sleep deprived and that they have a short attention span. So I would recommend that you avoid scheduling first period appointments for the presentation, and we have actually developed a presentation that has short videos to counter the short attention span.
Hi, I'm Katie Martin. I'm an assistant professor at the University of St. Joseph in the public health program and also the chair of the Mentoring Organization Registry with CPHA. I'm here with Cindy Stern today, and we are helping to do a brief training on this presentation that will help you to go into schools, into classrooms, to share information about public health and get students excited about this work. This is the presentation that hopefully you have as a PowerPoint that you will be using in the classroom. And what the intention of this is for you to have many slides to choose from. We suggest that you talk with the teachers in advance to find out what they're most interested in being presented for their students.
Public health will fit into many of your classes. If you're a health teacher, you might want to look at some of the videos that have more to do with health promotion. If you're an environmental science teacher, you might want to look at something about the built environment. You have your choice as to what you want to do.
So this is the PowerPoint presentation that you'll be using in the classroom and that you'll have with you. What we suggest is this is a great way to start and to engage students, to ask them, what do you think the life expectancy of the average American was in the year 1900 and what is it today? To go through. We have notes at the bottom of the slide that you can review to show how much we've improved life expectancy based on our great work in public health. And then you can go through and just briefly introduce the field of public health and why we do this work to prevent diseases and to promote health through the lifespan. This is another great slide to show the difference between what most people think about in terms of health. They think of individual health. We think about going to the doctor for our own health, and to introduce to young students the notion of community-based, population-based public health.
Most students don't think about return on investment, but this slide begins to talk about that. We talk about every dollar spent on prevention winds up saving $5.60 on health spending. And that, for some students, that brings home the reason of why we should do public health. For others, getting that understanding of how public health deals with the population and medical care deals with the individual after they've gotten sick, that begins to ring a bell with them.
You can talk about most students, particularly at the community college level, but even high school students as they're about to graduate are thinking, what are the jobs out there? So this is a nice explanation of all of the diverse fields that you can go into and the types of jobs that are available in public health. There are some great links here looking at the types of skills that you'll gain in public health and how you can use these in the real world in job settings.
I think that it's important for students to understand also that when they learn public health, and I said this at the beginning, when they learn public health skills, it really helps them to prepare for a lot of different jobs in their future. We know that jobs are changing all the time because of technology, and here, it's according to a Department of Labor study, they said that today's learner will have 10 to 14 jobs by the time that they're 38 years old. And the public health skills that students will learn are the same 21st century skills that they're going to be able to apply when they're going to find success no matter what job they're in. And those are communication, analytical and systems thinking, leadership, global awareness, technology, and preparedness. Area Health Education Centers have produced an online guide to health careers, and it includes public health careers. It didn't always include public health careers, but it does now. So many of the careers that we showed in an earlier slide are included here, and it goes over things like where you would work, how much you would earn, what kind of education you need, and where you can get that education in the state.
Here's where we start with short video clips, and these are really fantastic. They're hyperlinked in here, so in the classroom, all you need to do is click on them. We're going to preview. You should probably run through these in their entirety. We're going to show a few of these to give you a taste of what they're like. They're fantastic video clips, and as Tarina mentioned earlier, we know for young students, their attention span is short, so these will keep their attention. So this is The Healthiest Nation.
reaching out then to your audience, saying, what did you think about that? And most of the time we get an incredibly positive response. Many of the students want to hear it again. They want to see it again. They want to see some of those statistics. And they do like the music, and it's incredible. I've been in a position where the audio doesn't work, which brings me to another very important issue. Make sure that you check your technology before you go in. I would put this presentation onto a flash drive. I would go in plenty of time and make sure that you have both the audio and the visual working. And one of the things you can do, there are a few schools that still don't allow access to YouTubes. You can use your phone as a hotspot, and that should overcome the problem. But always make sure that you communicate with the teacher and make sure that you have someone from technology there who can help you overcome any of these issues.
So after you've shown that one, these are additional video clips throughout the presentation. You can choose, we think you can realistically show about 5 or 6 of these video clips. This is the power of evidence. A lot of public health is about statistics and epidemiology, how we track diseases and monitor trends. Han Rosling is a genius on this, and his presentations are amazing.
Yeah, he's done a number of TED Talks. The 2 that we've selected here, the first one is 9 minutes long, so you have to really gauge your time and your audience. It's really about global health and how things like having a washing machine have freed women to pursue other endeavors, including going to school and really becoming much more a part of the industrial society. His second one talks about, and this is a great one, it talks about how everyone is becoming healthier as they become wealthier. And he shows it within a 5-minute period and beautiful statistics using these big bubbles representing larger countries and smaller bubbles representing smaller countries. And it does capture the attention of students and makes them realize how powerful statistics can be. So I highly recommend that you use at least one of them.
As we know, many of our public health concerns, our chronic diseases, have social determinants that are determined by our behaviors, the choices that we make. Unnatural Causes is a fantastic documentary that talks about how so many of the causes of disease are not natural. They're things that happen because of the zip code that we live in. They happen because of poverty. And this is a really nice short segment on a longer documentary. Much of public health is preventing disease, promoting health. This is another segment that you can choose about washing hands.
And I want to just say that this was developed by Connecticut's second Public Health 101 class at the high school level. We are really the only state that has a full year Public Health 101 class at the high school level. The teacher, Susan McConnell, who is in Newtown, took her kids when they were only 2 months into the course, and they competed in a WHO, a World Health Organization, international contest to get people to start connecting washing hands with reducing disease. Her students' project was so good and so culturally sensitive that they won the prize for their age group. So it's a 1-minute video, and I encourage you to watch it.
It's a great way to show students how they can make a change even when they're in high school. Other questions that you can address to your classmates, to the students, what are the root causes? What did they like about the video? Public health is also very dynamic. We often cover what's happening in the news today, what's relevant right now. And one of the big trends these days is in e-cigarettes. And this is a video clip that talks about the facts and some of the myths about e-cigarettes. Many students feel like they're less harmful than regular cigarettes, and this is a nice documentary to show why that's not true.
Right, and until last year, someone under the age of 18 could go into any store and buy an e-cigarette. but now they can't.
Another wonderful campaign that's public health related is the Truth Campaign, trying to counteract all of the advertising that we have about unhealthy behaviors. Kind of a shocking display of what makes us think about things like advertisements.
The important thing about this campaign is that it was young kids between the ages of around 8th grade and sophomore year of high school that were down in Florida. The campaign was funded by the tobacco settlement and down in Florida, and the advertisers that were selected to do the campaign actually went into the schools, and they said to students, the tobacco industry has been putting one over on you for many years. They know that if we can get you hooked when you're still a teenager, we've got you hooked for life. So they started using things like Joe Camel to try and get them engaged in smoking cigarettes. They gave that information to the young people, and the students then created their campaign to tell their friends about the evils of the tobacco industry. And what they wound up doing is reducing the incidence of new smokers among 13 and 14-year-old population in Florida by over 23% within 2 years using their campaign.
Powerful. Certainly for this age group, the HPV vaccine is very relevant. So this is something particularly in a health class, health promotion. This might be an appropriate one to teach, certainly for this age group. Public health, one of the great things about public health is we have a way of spinning our message to make it provocative and make people think, here's this young teenage boy who clearly is pregnant in this advertisement. What's unexpected about this? What do you think about this? Could be a nice way to engage students in the classroom. As Cindy mentioned earlier, environmental health is a key component of public health. This can be great. You certainly should show at least one of the environmental health clips in the classroom. And there's a lot of emphasis these days on the built environment and what are all the man-made structures in our communities that can either promote healthy behaviors or make it less easy for us to exercise and be involved.
One other thing that I just want to bring your attention to is environmental health, healthy by design. And that's the theme of CPHA's conference in the fall, in October. And again, that means that you've got to get other community groups together to make your entire community healthy. It's not just public health, it's not just people in environmental health. It starts talking about city planners, community planners, getting the schools involved. It takes everybody to make a healthy community.
Another great video clip about the built environment and public health. It's really great if we can introduce young students to this notion of our built environment and how much our community impacts our health as individuals. This is a fantastic short clip. It has Matt Damon in it, so that's always fun for students to see a celebrity and all the really fabulous work that he's doing in Africa around water, healthy water and access to water in low-resource communities. So this is a really nice one, bringing that home, the message of global health.
And I think that the big message here is right in front of us. More people have cell phones than they have toilets.
And the things that we take so for granted here in the United States, this helps put the global perspective on this work. So this is we have information in the back. You can contact those of us who are involved in this. Cindy's done so much great work. I want to thank her publicly for all the hard work that you've done on this. And we hope that this is just the beginning of your opportunity to engage with high schools and with community colleges to get students interested and excited about public health at their own individual level and so that they can engage in their communities.
Thank you, and just email us and let us know how we can help.